Now Education is one of the fastest growing education recruitment businesses in England and Wales at the moment. The core reason for that growth is our shared equity model, which we introduced in 2019, late 2019. Reasons why that makes it a leader in its service delivery is because we're opening up what other businesses might call their branches. We're opening up new business units in regions that we are expanding into, which are partly owned but managed and controlled on a day-to-day basis by shareholder directors who take accountability and responsibility for the performance, the growth, and the sustainability of their business unit. That there's a different mindset to somebody who's owner of their business unit. So just a branch manager of a business which is wholly owned and controlled by some central office team. Because these people joined this business with a stake in that company, a proper share ownership of that business, that motivated and accelerated the growth of that business. So what that's achieved is the 4 offices that we've had up until a few months ago has actually doubled the turnover from 15 to 30 million this year, and tripled the EBITDA from 1.5 to 4.5 million up to August 23. And in the last couple of months, we've opened up a London office, and we have 5 consultants in there now. And in the next couple of months, we're going to be opening up our Leeds and our Lincoln offices, which will be ready to go. And what we're doing this year is once again putting in additional infrastructure through new offices, through our shared equity model, to accelerate the growth further. And our plan is to double the turnover again in the next 3 years. That's what's driving our growth, as well as maintaining as best as possible a flat organizational structure which encourages engagement up and down the organization, which then create, just because as we grow and as the market changes, we're going to need to continually adapt and innovate candidate generation, candidate retention, client generation, client retention, consultant development, and all those sort of things, unless you have continual engagement and allow that engagement to take place. So from 2010 to 2019, Now Education was a single office in Birmingham. And we grew to a business with 12 consultants, 3 compliance officers, with obviously our back office support team. And by the end of 2019, we were doing circa 14 million in turnover, 4 million in margin, and probably around 1.5 million in profit, EBITDA. Okay. We wanted to continue to expand, but we didn't want to expand in the usual way that most agencies expand, by opening branches, which are wholly owned and controlled by a head office business, the Birmingham business. So we developed the shared equity model, which is in a very simple explanation. Basically, we would open up a new office in a region, for example, Cardiff or Nottingham, whereby we identify and headhunt a team, a small founder shareholder team, who would combined own 25% of that business. Because they have a 25% stake in that company, they take responsibility and accountability for the founding and growth of that business. With the support of myself, Gary, and the back office team, in terms of to fund that growth, to fund that startup, to provide all the back office support, the managerial support, the expertise, the marketing, the legal support, all those things. Always looking for a win-win scenario for the clients we supply, the schools we supply, the candidates that work with us on supply, and the consultants and the back office support teams that keep the whole operation going and work within the business. For us, any outcome has to be a win-win. We're always striving for that win-win. So we're not looking to maximize the profit on any given day of supply. We're always looking to we're looking to make sure that the schools get the best value, that they get the most suitable candidate, that candidates get well paid, they get paid properly, they get paid fairly and transparently, and that they're offered work which they've asked for and that suits their own circumstances and preferences. And consultants work in an environment which encourages them to be able to grow, develop, but without being micromanaged, and it allows them to work in an environment which caters to their strengths and their strengths, and identifies what they need to be developed in terms of their weaknesses. Have a growing but flat organisation which encourages ideas and innovation and people to experiment and improve what we do. Yeah. And no matter how junior or how senior you are in the business, how inexperienced or experienced, how highly performing you are, whatever, it doesn't matter. Everyone has everyone has the opportunity to provide input. And what you find is everyone actually has valuable input.
When they feel valued as well.
Yeah. And actually, if you take the time to listen to everyone and give everyone the opportunity, I'm not saying we implement every single idea that comes, otherwise we'd just be implementing new ideas all the time, but we give people the forum, the opportunity to do that and feel like a culture whereby they want to, they know we'll listen, even if we don't implement it today or tomorrow, but we'll listen. And if it's a good idea, we'll implement it, trial it, and they'll get the credit for it. From a school's perspective, agencies are a necessity. They have to use them, whether that's a day for a year over the year, or they use 2 teachers every day. Yeah, every school at some point will need to be engage with a supply agency for its short or long-term staffing needs. The point being is that in order to maintain supplying a school, you need to make sure you're available for them, you continually recruit candidates which are suitable to them, and you offer them value for money. Because at the end of the day, going back to what I said about being a values-led organisation, if you're transparent about the quality and the availability of your candidates, if you're transparent about your pricing, how much you're paying the candidate, what they're paying for, your profit margins and all those things, if you develop a trusting relationship, and if you're honest with schools and honest with candidates, they'll just keep coming back to you because they know they can rely on you. Same for candidates. They want to make sure that they're working with agencies that are honest about them and honest with them in terms of the sort of work that they're going to be offered and how much work they can expect and things like that. So as long as you're honest with people, transparent with people, they'll build trust. They'll build a trusting relationship with you, and they'll just keep coming back to you. If you give a candidate a positive experience, you're more likely to have them refer people to you. So it's really about innovating the candidate experience to encourage that positive word of mouth, because most of the candidates that we generate come from referrals. Yeah. So if you give them a positive experience in terms of registration, finding work, the way they're paid, the way they're treated, the way they're communicated with, that will then encourage them to go, well, I know an agency, why don't you go and work in education? Because they were great for me, they should be great for you. But at the same time as well, engaging directly with the source, i.e. universities, colleges, etc., and having open, honest workshops and sessions with trainee teachers, with trainee teaching assistants, explaining the wider benefits and opportunities that supply generally offers, but then at the same time, what Now Education can offer them specifically. So it's not so much innovative, because I think there's quite a lot of agencies doing that, but it's really innovating the innovative ways of improving the experience of the candidates that do work for us to maintain that, improve that reputation within the candidate space, because we know candidates talk. Yeah. So it's important that candidates talk to other candidates, whether that be face-to-face with their friends and family, on social media forums like Facebook, etc. So we want as best we can to ensure positive experiences perpetuate, so therefore we get referrals and inbound, interest in our business from candidates. We're very much about employing the best people who do those roles, regardless of their background and their ability, and so forth. And when you look at if you look at the demographics of our workforce, we've got a whole range of people in terms of range of age, range of experience, range of ethnicity, range of religion, everything. We're not for us, it's not. We're not a positive discriminator where we have quotas on people. We're looking for the best consultants, the best payroll staff, the best credit controllers. We're looking for the best candidates. We want the most suitable candidate for the role. We don't go, we must have X amount of that or Y amount of that. But then our schools follow exactly that policy. They want the best teachers for their pupils. To be blunt, we care about education. And we care about the impact our service has on the pupils that are taught by and supported by the staff we supply. Yes, we're a profitable organisation. Yes, we have to make profit, but we have to make profit in order to continue to grow and invest in that growth and reward the risk for that growth. Yeah, but beyond that, what we have to do is make sure that we focus on who's the end consumer of what our service. It's the pupils. Who's paying for it? The taxpayer. Who's affected by good quality teach supply staff and poor quality supply staff? The pupils are, their parents are, the school and their colleagues are affected by it positively and negatively. So our purpose is we are a necessary service to schools, yeah, and our purpose is to do the best we can by those people that depend on us the most, our children.